Hey everyone, and welcome back to Game Over, Order Up, or for short, Goop. Goop is a show where I take an analytical look at a game while also trying to make food from that game, because who wants a show to just be one thing these days? Today I'm taking a look at Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, a PS5 exclusive action platformer by Insomniac Games that sees the titular duo on a quest through dimensional rifts as they attempt to stop longtime villain Dr. Nefarious from ruling over all dimensions. The game's a lot of fun, but something I struggle to find any food in. See, most of the characters in this game are robots, who, of course, aren't really known for eating food digestible by humans. Midway through the game, however, you find an alien chef on a lava planet who is looking for inspiration for a new recipe. After seeing you battle, creativity strikes and they set off to create some food. Food that you don't end up seeing for the rest of the game, except for a brief moment in the credits. While it's not confirmed what that food is, based on the chocolate and Arameca nature of it and the fact that the chef lives on a lava planet, I'm going with the assumption that it is a chocolate lava cake. There's no confirmation of this as far as I can tell, so let's just go with it, because chocolate lava cake is delicious and something I've always wanted an excuse to make. This recipe will make around 4 to 6 lava cakes depending on the size of your ramekins, so increase ingredient sizes if you want to make more. To start with, we need to create the lava part of the lava cake, which consists of a frozen chocolate ganache. And the first thing we need to make chocolate ganache, unsurprisingly, is chocolate. Take 80 grams of dark chocolate, breaking it into small chunks before chopping it into even smaller chunks. I'm not sure if chopping into smaller bits is strictly necessary, but I figure it'll be easy to melt them if they are smaller, right? To reiterate from the first video, I am not a professional chef. Once you've chopped your chocolate, bring a pan of water to boil and place a large mixing bowl on top of it, creating a double boiler. From here, add your chocolate into the bowl and stir until it is melted. While you're melting your chocolate, take a moment to tell your audience that it is currently around 35 degrees Celsius in your kitchen, and so the floury shorts are a necessity. Once the chocolate is melted, slowly add in 1/3 of a cup of heavy or double cream, stirring as you add it to ensure it's properly mixed through. When mixed together, take the bowl off the heat, place into one side to cool before adding it to the freezer for a minimum of 2 hours. And while the mixture freezes, let's take a look at the game we're basing this off of. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is the latest in a series that's been going for almost 20 years, with the first game being released on the PlayStation 2 all the way back in 2002. The first thing you'll notice about Rift Apart is how stunning the game looks, with an incredible attention to detail that at times reaches movie level quality thanks to ray tracing that accurately reflects your surroundings and a 4K resolution with a locked frame rate. Using the power of the PS5, the team at Insomniac Games have managed to create a game currently unrivaled in its visual prowess. Moment to moment, the game never lets up, with breathtaking vistas that make every world feel truly alien, and explosive moments that ensure that every minute of gameplay, every battle, feels as exciting as the previous. And the gameplay is great. While not too different from the previous games in the series, it feels like we're at the pinnacle of this style of game. There aren't many games like this anymore, so Ratchet and Clank has their corner all boxed out with a formula that feels like it has been perfected. Levels feel tightly designed and expertly paced, each feeling unique and exciting, with bombastic set pieces at the end of them all. Every battle feels exhilarating, especially so with the feedback of the DualShock controller, allowing you to literally get to grips with every weapon. The adaptive triggers are used to great effect in allowing you to feel every shot of your rifle and every explosion of your grenade, as well as changing how weapons behave based on how hard you press the triggers. You're also encouraged to move around your environment as you battle, thanks to portals that let you zip around to them at any point you want. It's fantastic fun that never got dull in my entire playthrough. Back in the kitchen, the 2 hours freezing time for the ganache is up, so it's time to work on the rest of the cake. Take a further 110 grams of dark chocolate, breaking it up into pieces again, before chopping it up into smaller pieces and adding them to a mixing bowl. From here you want to chop up 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, adding it to the mixing bowl and setting aside the rest to sit at room temperature for a bit. This will be important later. Bring a smaller pan to before to boil and put your mixing bowl on top of it for another double boiling session. Make sure to place the bowl on with oven gloves because it's boiling hot for some reason. Wonder what could have caused that to happen. Melt the chocolate and butter down, stirring constantly until it is nice, smooth and saucy. With our chocolate made, we can move on to the other parts of the cake. Expertly break 4 eggs into a mixing jug and add in 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. Now it's whisking time. Grab your favourite whisking instrument, such as a whisk, and whisk the mixture together before adding in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Take the chocolate butter mixture and slowly add to the browned vanilla eggs, whisking it all together as you do so. You're adding it slowly to avoid accidentally cooking the eggs with how hot it is, as well as to enable everything to mix together easily. At the end it will need a little thickening, so grab some plain flour and add in 4 tablespoons of it. Whisk some more until everything is combined. Now it's ramekin time. Take your oven tray and place your ramekins on top of it. I've gone for 6, but you'll see shortly that I should have gone for 4. At this point you'll want to preheat your oven, so turn it on to 215 degrees Celsius or 190 for fan ovens. While your oven is preheating, spread the room temperature butter onto the inside of the ramekins. This will allow the cakes to be removed easily once they're cooked. Add some sugar for additional sweetness on the outside and to allow further ease when it comes to the removal of the cakes. Next you want to pour half of your mixture into each ramekin, realising towards the end that you've used a bit too much and are running low. Remove your ganache from the freezer and use a spoon to form it into chunks that will each be placed into the centre of each cake, taking care not to let it sink too much. With the ganache pods in their goo containers, top up each ramekin as best you can with the remaining mixture, ensuring that each ganache is fully covered. Once all the ramekins are filled, place them into the oven for 11 minutes, and use this time to take one last look at Ratchet and Clank. The final points to mention about Ratchet and Clank are the game's story and music. While not the most original of plots, Rift Apart's story does a good job of feeling like a space epic, with its dimension-hopping alternate universe adventure taking you across space and to exciting alien worlds. Characterization is handled really well, and while Ratchet and Clank themselves don't go through much in terms of development, ultimately ending up in a similar place as they started, the newcomers Rivet and Kit, who fill the same roles as Ratchet and Clank in this other dimension, are fun and interesting and go through their own journeys over the course of the adventure. Rivet especially, while playing exactly the same as Ratchet, is a ton of fun to be around with her quippy nature and confident attitude. The story is bolstered by a brilliantly cinematic sci-fi score by Mark Mothersbaugh and Wataru Hokoyama. It feels suitably epic, though the quality shouldn't be surprising considering the pair's previous scores include the excellent Thor Ragnarok, The Willoughbys, Cloud Over Chance of Meatballs, and The Sims 2. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is truly the full package, and while the £70 price tag may scare some off, especially with the overall game length being around 10 to 15 hours, in my opinion this feels like a rare, special game that is fully deserving of its price. Now the 11 minutes are up, let's see how our cakes have turned out. Place them onto a rack to allow them to cool a little before taking one and running a knife around the outer edge. Now to get it out of the ramekin, we need to place a plate on top of it and flip it upside down, making sure to attempt to awkwardly do this with oven gloves before going for the slightly easier dishcloth. With the cake on the plate, it's time for the moment of truth. See, you can't call it a chocolate lava cake unless the inside is molten like lava. The outside should be a soft, moist texture with the ganache inside being melted and liquidy. Awkwardly hold your cake up to the camera and attempt to break into the cake from the side that's facing away from you to see that it's molten lava, baby. While the shape may not be anything to write home about, the cake itself is perfect in texture and lavaness. Perfect in texture and molten stuff. Whatever way you want to describe it, it's come out right and is ready to serve, just as the aliens would have wanted. Serve on a plate with whatever you want. Personally, I've gone for some squirty cream that immediately started to melt in the heat, and some cocoa powder because chocolate on chocolate on chocolate can never be a bad thing. I've never made one of these before, and baking sets off my anxiety like nothing else in the kitchen, but I'm extremely pleased with how this came out. It is a dessert that is absolutely delicious and truly out of this world. You know, because of the space stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time.